There comes a time in every believer's journey when the road ahead is unclear, when the nights seem longer than the days, and the voice of doubt whispers louder than the voice of faith. It is in these moments that we ask the most crucial question: am I on the right path? Life has a way of presenting crossroads that test not just our decisions, but the very foundation of our faith. We wrestle with the uncertainty, we look for signs, and we wonder if heaven is confirming our steps or if we are walking blindly into error. Many have found themselves in the valley of decision, torn between moving forward and turning back, questioning whether their sacrifices, struggles, and silent prayers have been in vain. But there is something powerful about the way God directs His people. He never leaves us without confirmation. He is a God of order, not confusion. He does not send His children on a journey without markers along the way. And while He may not always speak in a loud, audible voice, He reveals His will through signs. Clear, undeniable signs that whisper to the heart and confirm to the soul, you are exactly where I need you to be. There are 4 distinct signs that indicate you are on the right path, and if you recognize them, you must hold firm to your course, for God is with you. The first is divine peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from comfort or familiarity, but the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is the stillness in your spirit even when the world around you is in turmoil. It is the confidence that rests in your soul even when circumstances scream otherwise. You may be facing trials, you may be enduring hardships, but deep within there is a knowing, an assurance that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. This peace is not born out of external conditions. It is the echo of God's approval in your spirit. The second sign is the presence of divine provision. When God ordains a path, He also provides for it. Where there is vision, there will always be provision. Some doors may close, some resources may dry up, but watch how God supplies in ways you never imagined. He will place the right people in your life at the right time. He will open unexpected opportunities. He will sustain you even when logic says you should have failed. When you are walking in His will, you do not have to force things to happen. The provision of God will flow into your life, not by striving, but by alignment. The third sign is the refining process. Being on the right path does not mean an absence of struggles. Rather, it means God is shaping you for something greater. When you are walking in divine purpose, expect to be tested. The fire may come, but it is not there to destroy you. It is there to refine you. Diamonds do not emerge without pressure. Gold is not purified without fire. Your trials are not a sign that you are on the wrong path. They are a sign that God is preparing you for the weight of what He is bringing into your life. The greater the calling, the greater the refining. The fourth sign is the evidence of transformation. When you are on the right path, you cannot remain the same. You will begin to see yourself growing, changing, maturing in ways you never expected. Your mind is renewed, your faith is strengthened, your character is refined. You start walking in wisdom, making choices that align with God's will, and distancing yourself from things that once held you back. The old you begins to fade, and the new you begins to emerge. When you are in alignment with God, transformation is inevitable. Many people miss these signs because they expect the right path to be smooth, easy, and free of struggle. But God's path is not about ease, it is about purpose. It is about development, refinement, and preparation. If you recognize these signs in your life, do not doubt, do not waver. Hold on, keep walking, and trust that God is leading you exactly where He needs you to be. When you walk in the path that God has ordained for you, there will be moments of deep clarity, and there will be moments of testing, where everything in you will want to question if you are truly where you are supposed to be. You must understand that God does not always reveal the entire journey at once. He gives you enough light for the next step, enough strength for the next challenge, enough wisdom for the next decision. But as you continue in faith, those steps begin to align in a way that makes sense only in hindsight. The enemy, however, thrives on confusion. He will attempt to make you doubt, to make you second guess whether you have truly heard from God, whether you have made the right choices. But you must remember that confusion is not from God. Where God leads, He confirms. Where He sends, He provides. Where He calls, He strengthens. Yet many believers struggle with uncertainty not because they are not on the right path, but because they expect the right path to be obvious, easy, and free of hardship. But throughout Scripture, we see that God's way is rarely the easy way. Look at Joseph. God gave him a dream, but before that dream became a reality, he was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. If Joseph had judged his journey based on his struggles, he would have thought he had missed God's will. But what he did not see was that every trial was positioning him for the very place God had prepared for him. When he finally stood before Pharaoh and was made ruler over Egypt, it all made sense. The pit was necessary. The prison was necessary. The betrayal was necessary. Every hardship was shaping him for his destiny. When you are on the right path, there will be seasons where things do not make sense. There will be moments where it feels as if you are going backward instead of forward. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not mistake hardship for misalignment. Sometimes God will take you the long way to prepare you for what He has in store. Look at the Israelites. When God delivered them from Egypt, He could have taken them on a direct route to the promised land, but He didn't. He led them through the wilderness, not because He wanted them to suffer, but because He was preparing them. There were lessons they needed to learn, battles they needed to fight, and character that needed to be refined before they could enter into the promise. If God had taken them the easy way, they would have arrived unprepared, unequipped, and unable to handle the blessing. So, if you find yourself walking in faith but facing obstacles, do not let the enemy convince you that you are on the wrong path. The enemy attacks what he fears. If he is fighting you, it is because he knows where you are going. It is because he sees what you do not yet see. He is not fighting you because of where you are. He is fighting you because of where you are headed. And if you give up now, you will never know the fullness of what God had in store for you. The right path is not always the easiest, but it is always the most rewarding. Another undeniable sign that you are on the right path is the stretching of your faith. When God is leading you, He will take you beyond your comfort zone. He will ask you to trust Him in ways you have never trusted before. He will call you to take steps that do not make sense in the natural. Peter was on the right path when he stepped out of the boat and walked on water. But notice something. He had to step out first. The miracle did not happen while he was in the boat. It happened when he took the step of faith. Many people are waiting for proof before they move. They are waiting for all the conditions to be perfect, for every question to be answered, for every doubt to be removed before they obey God. But faith does not work like that. Faith requires movement before manifestation. God does not give explanations. He gives instruction. And those who are truly on the right path will find that the journey requires them to lean on God in ways they never have before. Look at Abraham. God told him to leave his country, his family, and everything familiar, and to go to a land that He would show him. God did not give him a map. He did not tell him exactly where he was going. He simply told him to go. And Abraham obeyed. He walked without knowing, moved without certainty, trusted without evidence. And because he obeyed, he became the father of many nations. Had he waited for clarity before moving, he would have never stepped into his destiny. The right path will require you to trust God beyond what you can see. It will stretch you, it will challenge you, but it will also transform you. And then there is the sign of divine connections. When you are on the right path, God will place the right people in your life at the right time. These people will not always look like what you expect, but they will be necessary for your journey. Some will come to encourage you, some will come to challenge you, and some will come to open doors that you could not open on your own. But just as God sends divine connections, the enemy also sends distraction. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people come as assignments, others come as distractions. You must have discernment to know the difference. When Nehemiah was rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, his enemies tried to lure him away from his work. They invited him to meet with them, but Nehemiah recognized that their intention was to stop him from fulfilling his purpose. He responded, "I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down." That must be your attitude when distractions try to pull you away from what God has called you to do. Not every opportunity is from God. Not every relationship is meant to be entertained. Some connections will strengthen you, others will drain you. When you are on the right path, the enemy will send people who appear supportive but whose purpose is to derail you. You must remain focused. You must protect your purpose. You must learn to say no to what is good so that you can say yes to what is God. There is also the sign of increased attacks. Many assume that opposition means they are on the wrong path. But in reality, opposition is often confirmation that you are exactly where God wants you to be. If you were no threat to the enemy, he would not bother with you. But when you begin to move in alignment with God's will, the attacks will come. They may come through discouragement, through people, through circumstances, through spiritual warfare. But every attack is evidence that you are making progress. Jesus himself experienced the greatest opposition when he was closest to fulfilling his purpose. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he was under such intense pressure that he sweat drops of blood. On the cross, he endured mocking, pain, and betrayal. But the very thing that looked like defeat was actually the greatest victory in history. If Jesus had turned back because of the suffering, redemption would not have come. What does that tell you? That the greatest opposition often comes before the greatest breakthrough. If you are facing battles, if the pressure has increased, if the warfare has intensified, do not retreat. The enemy fights hardest when he knows he is losing. Keep standing, keep believing, keep pressing forward, because on the other side of the battle is the fulfillment of what God has promised you. And finally, there is the sign of supernatural endurance. When you're on the right path, you will find strength you did not know you had. You will wake up with a determination that does not make sense. You will find yourself pressing forward when everything in the natural tells you to quit. That is because when you are walking in God's will, His grace sustains you. What should have broken you only strengthens you. What should have stopped you only pushes you further. You do not rely on your own strength, because His strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you are on the right path, everything may not be easy, but everything will be purposeful. You may not have all the answers, but you will have the assurance that God is with you. You may face challenges, but you will also see His hand guiding, providing, and making a way where there seems to be no way. The key is to trust Him, even when you do not understand, to walk by faith, even when the road is unclear, and to hold fast to His promises, knowing that He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. When you are on the right path, one of the greatest challenges you will face is the battle of endurance. Many people start well but fail to finish because they do not understand that the journey of faith is not a sprint, it is a marathon. There will be seasons of acceleration where everything moves quickly, doors open, opportunities come, and you feel the momentum of God's favor propelling you forward. But there will also be seasons of waiting, where it feels as though nothing is happening, where progress seems invisible and patience is tested. It is in those seasons that many abandon their path, not realizing that delays are often divine setups for something greater. God does not measure progress the way man does. He is not interested in speed. He is interested in preparation. He is not concerned with how fast you arrive, but with how ready you are when you get there. Waiting is one of the hardest parts of the journey, yet it is often the greatest sign that you are on the right path. If God is making you wait, it is because He is working on something beyond what you can see. The right path is not about rushing to a destination, but about being developed for the weight of the assignment ahead. David was anointed king as a young man, but he did not immediately ascend to the throne. Instead, he spent years in the wilderness, running from Saul, living in caves, and fighting battles that seemed unnecessary. To the natural eye, it looked as though he had been forgotten, as though his destiny had been delayed indefinitely. But what looked like a delay was actually a season of preparation. God was refining him, teaching him leadership, testing his heart, and strengthening his character, so that when the time came for him to rule, he would not just have the title of a king, but the heart of one. The process is necessary because without it, you will mishandle the promise. If God placed you in your destiny too soon, the very thing meant to bless you could destroy you. This is why some doors remain closed even when you feel ready. It is not because God is withholding from you. It is because He loves you too much to let you step into something unprepared. He sees what you do not see, He knows the weight of what is coming. And He is not just preparing the blessing for you, He is preparing you for the blessing. When you are on the right path, one of the ways God confirms it is through the unexpected lessons He teaches you along the way. You may think you are in a season of delay, but God is using that time to sharpen your discernment, to train your hands for battle, to increase your wisdom and to develop your endurance. Many people pray for breakthrough but do not realize that breakthrough requires responsibility. Many ask for more but do not realize that more requires greater discipline, greater sacrifice, and greater faith. This is why God allows seasons where you must depend on Him fully, seasons where you must learn to trust His voice more than your circumstances, seasons where you must walk even when you cannot see. The right path will always require you to grow. If you are not growing, you are not truly walking in your divine assignment. There is no stagnation in the kingdom of God. You may feel like you are standing still, but spiritually, God is increasing your capacity. He is stretching you so that you can handle what He is about to release. Some people do not recognize this and allow frustration to drive them away from their calling. They mistake discomfort for misalignment. But in reality, the stretching is a sign that they are exactly where they need to be. One of the most powerful indicators that you are on the right path is the way God begins to shape your desires. When you are aligned with Him, your heart starts to long for different things. The things that once tempted you no longer have the same pull. The relationships that once distracted you begin to fade. The things that once seemed important now seem trivial. This is not coincidence, this is transformation. The Bible says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Many misunderstand this to mean that God will give them whatever they want, but the true meaning is that as you draw near to Him, He will shape your desires to align with His will. You will begin to crave purpose over pleasure, impact over influence, obedience over convenience. Your appetite will change, and that is a sign that you are on the right path. Another sign is divine protection. When you are walking in God's will, there will be things that should have harmed you but did not. There will be attacks that should have taken you out but failed. There will be moments where you look back and realize that God's hand was covering you even when you did not see it. Some doors will close and you will not understand why until later, only to realize that what you thought was rejection was actually protection. Some relationships will end, and though it may hurt in the moment, you will later see that God removed them because they could not go where He was taking you. The right path is not just about open doors, it is about closed ones too. It is about divine redirection, about God leading you away from what seems good so that He can give you what is best. Then there is the evidence of divine strength. When you are walking in alignment with God, you will find yourself enduring things you never thought you could. You will go through challenges that should have broken you, but somehow you remain standing. You will face battles that should have drained you, yet you still have energy to keep going. This is not by your strength, but by His. The enemy may come against you, but he cannot destroy you because God is sustaining you. The right path does not mean an absence of opposition. It means an abundance of grace. There will be moments when you feel tired, when you wonder if you can continue, when you question if it is worth it. But every time you feel like quitting, you will find new strength. You will wake up with fresh determination. You will feel a renewed fire in your spirit. This is God sustaining you. When you are in His will, He will carry you through the seasons when your own strength is not enough. Another powerful confirmation is the impact of your obedience. When you are on the right path, your life begins to bear fruit. You may not always see it immediately, but the seeds you plant in faith will begin to grow. You will notice how your words, your actions, and your obedience begin to influence those around you. People will begin to come to you for wisdom, not because you are special, but because they see something in you that is different. They will see the peace you carry, the faith you walk in, the resilience that sustains you, and they will want to know where it comes from. The right path is not just about your own journey. It is about how your obedience impacts others. Your faithfulness will inspire those watching. Your endurance will give hope to those struggling. Your testimony will remind others that God is faithful. And through it all, there is the unwavering presence of God. Even in the moments when you feel alone, even when you do not feel Him, even when doubt creeps in, He is there. He will confirm His presence in ways big and small. It may be through a timely word, a sudden provision, an unexpected opportunity, or even just a peace that settles in your heart when everything around you is chaotic. He will remind you that you are not walking this path alone. The journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every sacrifice will be rewarded. Every tear will be accounted for. Every step of faith will be honored. You may not see the full picture now, but one day you will look back and realize that every struggle, every delay, every closed door, every painful lesson was part of the divine plan. You will see that what felt like a detour was actually the direct route to your destiny. You will understand that every moment of waiting, every test of faith, every refining fire was preparing you for something greater than you could have imagined. So if you see these signs in your life, do not be discouraged. Do not turn back. Do not allow fear to stop you. Keep walking, keep believing, keep trusting, because when you are on the right path, no weapon formed against you will prosper. No plan of the enemy will succeed, and nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, and what He has promised will come to pass. When you are walking in divine alignment, there will be moments when you question everything. The road may seem long, the trials unending, and the progress almost invisible. But that is where faith is tested, not when things are clear, not when doors are swinging open, not when every prayer is answered immediately, but in the moments when God is silent. His silence is never absence. His delay is never neglect. His stillness is never a sign of disinterest. It is in these moments that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, aligning every opportunity, and positioning you in ways that are beyond human comprehension. Many give up right before breakthrough. They abandon the process because they expected a quick arrival, not a long journey. They expected smooth sailing, not turbulent waves. But God's timing is perfect. If He showed you everything at once, you would either be overwhelmed or underprepared. That is why He reveals one step at a time. That is why He requires obedience without explanation. That is why He calls for trust even when understanding is absent. Abraham did not see the fulfillment of God's promise immediately, but he walked forward anyway. Moses did not see the Red Sea part before stepping into his assignment, but he obeyed anyway. Joshua did not see the walls of Jericho fall before marching around them, but he followed God's instruction anyway. Every great move of God in Scripture required faith beyond sight. Every person who walked in divine destiny had to endure a season of uncertainty before the manifestation of the promise. When you are on the right path, you will experience doors opening that you did not even knock on. There will be opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere, connections that appear at just the right time, and resources that arrive exactly when you need them. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. When you are in alignment with God's will, He will ensure that what you need finds you. You will not have to force doors open. You will not have to manipulate circumstances. You will not have to chase opportunities out of desperation. What is meant for you will come in God's perfect timing. The right path does not require striving. Yet at the same time, the enemy will try to plant doubt in your heart. He will attempt to make you question whether you are truly walking in purpose. He will use distractions, detours, and discouragement to try to pull you off course. That is why spiritual discernment is crucial. You must recognize the difference between a temporary obstacle and a divine redirection. Not every challenge means you are off track. Sometimes resistance is proof that you are stepping into something powerful. The enemy does not fight those who are stagnant. He fights those who are advancing. The greater the opposition, the greater the destiny. One of the key indicators that you are on the right path is the internal conviction that refuses to let you settle. When God has placed a calling on your life, no amount of distraction, no amount of failure, no amount of hardship will make you feel at peace with walking away. Even when you feel like giving up, something inside of you will not allow you to. That is because purpose is not an option, it is an assignment. Jonah tried to run from his calling, but the calling pursued him. Jeremiah tried to suppress the fire within him, but he described it as a fire shut up in his bones that he could not contain. When you are walking in divine purpose, You will experience moments of discouragement, but you will never be able to abandon your assignment completely. It will always call you back. Another undeniable sign that you're on the right path is the way God refines your character in the process. The journey to destiny is not just about reaching a place. It is about becoming a person fit for that place. God does not simply bless, He builds. He is not just taking you somewhere, He is shaping you into someone. He will strip away what is unnecessary, remove what is harmful, and develop what is essential. This is why certain trials come, not to break you, but to mold you. The fire is not meant to consume, it is meant to refine. Gold is not purified without fire. Diamonds are not formed without pressure. Greatness is not developed without struggle. There will be seasons where God isolates you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. There will be seasons where it feels like He is removing things from your life, relationships, habits, mindsets, distractions, because they cannot go with you into the next level. Growth requires pruning. Destiny requires discipline. There are weights you must release in order to run the race effectively. Not everything you start with can come with you into your future. Some people are seasonal, not permanent. Some positions are temporary, not lifelong. Some places are just stepping stones, not final destinations. Do not hold on to what God is trying to remove. Do not resist the shifts that He is orchestrating. Trust that every ending is leading to a greater beginning. And then there is the peace that surpasses understanding. Even in the midst of trials, even when things do not make sense, even when you are unsure of the next step, there is a peace that anchors you. It is not a peace based on circumstances, but a peace based on the certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. This peace is unshaken by external storms. It does not waver when challenges arise. It does not disappear when prayers seem unanswered. It remains because it is rooted in something deeper than human reasoning. It is the assurance that God is in control. This peace is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of God. It is the quiet confidence that even when you do not see the way, He is leading you. Even when you do not have the answers, He is working. Even when the enemy whispers lies, you know the truth. God is faithful. He has never failed before, and He will not start now. He has never abandoned His children, and He will not start with you. He has never spoken a promise that He did not fulfill, and He will not begin breaking promises now. When you are on the right path, there will be moments of stretching, moments of sacrifice, moments of testing, but there will also be moments of supernatural provision, divine encounters, and undeniable breakthroughs. You will see God move in ways you never imagined. You will experience favor that cannot be explained. You will walk in doors that others said were impossible to enter. You will witness prayers answered in ways that exceed human logic. But most of all, you will grow into the person He created you to be. The right path will change you. It will strip away what is temporary and establish what is eternal. It will uproot what is weak and build what is strong. It will challenge your thinking, stretch your faith, and deepen your relationship with God. It will make you more dependent on Him, more aware of His voice, more attuned to His leading. The journey is not just about arriving, it is about transformation. It is about becoming who He designed you to be. Many start, but few finish. Many step out in faith, but only those who endure the process walk in the fullness of their calling. The difference between those who fulfill their destiny and those who fall short is not talent, intelligence, or resources. It is perseverance. It is the refusal to quit. It is the decision to trust God even when it is hard. It is the determination to keep walking, keep believing, and keep pressing forward, knowing that every step taken in obedience is a step toward purpose. And so if you find yourself in a season of uncertainty, if you are facing trials that seem overwhelming, if the road ahead looks unclear, take heart. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are not off track. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. The signs are all around you. The stretching, the refining, the divine appointments, the opposition, the peace that sustains you, the endurance that refuses to let you quit. This journey was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to be worth it. Every sacrifice will be rewarded. Every step of faith will be honored. Every promise spoken will come to pass. Keep walking, keep believing, keep trusting because you are on the right path. The journey of purpose is not for the faint of heart. It requires faith when the path is unclear, endurance when the process is long, and trust when God is silent. Yet every challenge, every delay, every closed door is part of a divine plan. The right path will refine you, stretch you, and prepare you for something greater than you imagined. If you are facing resistance, if you feel the weight of the process, if you are being stretched beyond your comfort, take heart. These are not signs of failure, they are signs of alignment. Keep walking in faith, knowing that what God has started, He will finish. No obstacle can cancel His plan, no opposition can delay His timing, and no trial can break His promise. You are on the right path, and in due time, you will see the fullness of what He has prepared for you.